Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Easy English Learning. In today's English class, we will be doing our next chapter of literature, that is Firestones. It is written by Eoin Colfer. He is an Irish author of children's books. He worked as a primary school teacher before he became a full-time writer. He is best known as the author of the Atomies Fowl series, and some of his other famous works are Half Moon Investigations, The Wish List, and The Supernaturalist. Now, let's read its story today, that is Firestones. Before starting the story, just look at these pictures and try to identify the natural disasters and write few about it and discuss whether we can prevent these disasters and whether the only thing we can do is to be prepared for them. Why do these natural disasters occur? Just go through the Google and find it out. Now, let's start the chapter. The tsunami of 26th December 2004 left millions dead, homeless, or destitute along the Indian Ocean coastlines. A tsunami generally occurs when the seabed shifts places, occasionally causing earthquakes or seaquakes. Then the sea begins to churn and fling large volumes of water towards the land. Now, we will find out what the story is all about. Firestones. So, this is about a tsunami. We can get a hint from that in 2004, 26th December, a tsunami came and it left millions dead. Many people were homeless and many people became without money, food, or home, that is, destitute, along the Indian Ocean coastlines. A tsunami generally occurs when the seabed, means when the sea bed shift places, occasionally causing earthquakes or seaquakes. Earthquakes that come on land and seaquakes that come on in the sea. Then the sea begins to churn. Churn means to stir and fling large volumes of water towards the land. Fling means to move or throw. That's what happened when the tsunami comes, means large volumes of water that come towards the land. On 26 December 2004, one of the areas that got badly affected by the tsunami was the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, that is, a union territory of India. This is a fictional story about the day of the tsunami as experienced by two boys. One, an islander, the narrator, and other, a Shompan boy. Shompan means a group of natives who live in the Nicobar Islands. These are the people who live in the Nicobar Islands. Then, fictional story means it's just imaginative story about the day of the tsunami as experienced by two boys. One an islander, means one person who used to live on the islands, and the other person who lived on the Nicobar Islands. They are the group of natives that live on the who live on the Nicobar Islands. I remember thinking, what a beautiful sight. It was just as father had always said, God is in the water. Now the narrator is thinking this, that I remember thinking, what a beautiful sight. It was when he was seeing the sea, he was just thinking that, what a beautiful sight. It was just as father had always said, that God is in the water. Then, next page. First came the earthquake, then the sea retreated. Almost to the horizon, it seemed. But now it was coming back. The wave was high, with white foam at its head. Then it rumbled closer. It made a noise like all the creatures of the world rolled up in a ball. The lions rose, the bulls bellow, even the snakes hiss. Now, the narrator is talking about first came the earthquake, means an earthquake came. Then the sea retreated. Retreated means it moved back. After the earthquake, the sea moved back almost to the horizon, it seemed. Horizon is the place where it seems that earth and sky they meet. It seems that they are meeting at a point that is known as horizon. But now it was coming back. But now that quake was coming back, the wave was high. The waves near the sea that was very high with white foam or at its head means when the waves were coming towards the narrator, it was having white foam at its head. Then it rumbled closer. Rumbled means to speak in very low tone. Means it was like very slowly in slow tone. It was coming closer. It made a noise like all the creatures of the world rolled up in a ball. And it seemed that the waves were making noise like this, that all the creatures, all the living beings of the world rolled up in a ball. Rolled up means to turn something up, means everything is turned up just in a ball. The lions rose. The sound of lion is known as roar. The bulls bellow. The sound of bull is known as bellow. Even the snakes hiss, and the sound of snake is known as hiss. Means every little sound and everything that is turning something into a ball. The noise was like that. Then something thumped down on the sand behind me. Too loud to be a coconut, too soft for a wild pig. I turned reluctantly, not wishing to miss 1 second in the life of the fabulous wave. There was a Shompen boy on the beach. Now, the narrator told us that something thumped on the sand behind me. Thump means to knock or to feel a strike. That was on the sand behind him. That was too loud to be a coconut. It was too loud. It won't means it was not possible that it could be a coconut. Too soft for a wild pig. The sound or that thing was too soft that it wasn't a wild pig also. I turned reluctantly. Reluctantly means he didn't want to turn, but he turned with hesitation. Reluctantly, to turn with hesitation, he just turned, not wishing to miss 1 second in the life of the fabulous wave. He was seeing the beautiful waves of the sea, and he didn't want to miss those wonderful waves, where fabulous means wonderful. There was a Shompen boy on the beach. Now, then he noticed when he turned back, then he noticed that there was a Shompen boy on the beach that was from the Nicobar Islands, who was the native of the Nicobar Islands. Those people are known as Shompen. Mountain wave, he said. And the boy, that Shompen boy, he said that mountain wave. Are you speaking to me? I asked. I tapped my chest. And the narrator then talked to the Shompen boy that are you talking to me? And he then tapped his chest. The boy pointed out to sea. First the earth shakes, then the mountain wave comes. And then the boy he pointed out to the sea and told the boy, the islander, that first the earth shakes and then the mountain wave comes. We must go, he urged. Urged means to say something in a forceful manner, forcibly. He said to the boy that we must go from here. My mother had always told me never to follow a Shompen anywhere, especially into the forest. I did not intend to disobey her. I turned my back on the boy. Our conversation was over. Now, the narrator remembered that his mother told him that one should never follow a Shompen anywhere. Means who are the natives of Nicobar, they should not be followed, especially into the forest. So I did not intend. Intend means he didn't want to disobey his mother. So he just turned his back on the boy and their conversation was over. I felt a hand in my pocket, and it was not my own hand. The Champagne boy was picking my pocket. Now, the narrator told us that he suddenly then felt a hand in his pocket, and it was not his own hand. It was the hand of the boy, the Champagne boy, who was picking his pocket, means who was stealing money from his pocket or stealing whatsoever what was there in his pocket. Hey, I objected, grabbing at the stick thin arm, but it was gone, and so was my money pouch packed with my birthday rupees. Now, the narrator he said, hey, and he objected. Objected means kind of protested. Grabbing means to hold. Grab means to hold. He wanted to grab the stick thin arm of the boy, but it was gone. And he took the money pouch, the narrator's money pouch, which was having his birthday rupees. He just took that and he just ran away. The small Champagne boy darted between the palms on the edge of the beach. Darted means something that is projected with sudden speed, means he suddenly, speedily, he just went from there between the palms on the edge of the beach. Edge means top, and he just ran away from there, and he was just lost on the beach, on the side of the forest. He would disappear now, I knew it, and I would never catch him. And the narrator, he just he's thinking that the boy, Champagne boy, would disappear, and I knew it, and he won't be able to catch him. And he has taken his money pouch. But for some reasons, the boy stopped. But then the narrator noticed that for some reason, the boy, Champagne boy, he just stopped. He turned and waved my pouch at me. And what he did, he just turned and waved. Waved means to motion your hands to give some signal. So he just signaled his pouch in his hands, and that was like a taunt. Taunt means to it's like an insulting action that is meant to make a person angry, and he was making angry. That Champagne boy, he was making angry to the narrator, that no 13-year-old boy could resist. That he was taunting, Champagne boy was taunting the narrator, and he could not resist. He could not stop himself to follow him. I forgot the wave and ran. And the narrator, he was there to witness the beautiful wave, the fabulous wave. But just at that time, he just forgot the wave and ran behind the Champagne boy. There was a hill ahead. It was small and rough, dotted with neem trees. And then he noticed that it was small and rough. There was a hill ahead, and that hill was small and rough and dotted with neem trees. Dotted with means it was covered with neem trees. The Champagne boy ran towards the summit. So did I. Summit means the highest point. And that Champagne boy, that the boy from the Nicobar Islands, it just ran towards the summit, the highest point, and so did the narrator. He just followed him. And then I noticed the water, and suddenly the narrator, he noticed the water. The water from the wave was up to my knees. He was there at the hill following that Champagne boy, and then suddenly he noticed that the water from the wave was up to his knees, fresh and salty, not clear though, thick with mud. Now he was explaining the water, the kind of water he was having. He saw there, fresh and salty, not clear though, thick with mud. The Champagne climbed a giant tree right at the summit of the hill. And that Champagne boy, he just climbed a giant. Giant means a huge, large tree. He just climbed that tree right at the summit, right at the highest point of the hill. He went up fast and sure footed. And what he did, very fastly, he just went there, and sure footed means confidently or competently. He was very much confident, and he reached at the highest point, highest on the tree. I tried to follow, tried to copy, but my feet slipped on the rough bark. Now, the narrator told us that he also tried to follow to copy that Chompan boy, but his feet slipped on the rough bark. Bark means branch of the tree. The wave would make it, I thought. It would flick up a finger and dislodge me from my perch, then onto my village, maybe the entire island. Now the narrator was thinking this, that the wave would make it. And I thought, make it means the wave would take him, because the wave was so, its speed was very fast. It would flick up a finger. Flick up means it would strike or activate a finger and dislodge me. Dislodge means to leave a place previously occupied means, and narrator was thinking that it will force me to leave this place that was I was occupying, and it would take me somewhere else, that the wave was very fast, then on to my village, or maybe and dislodge me from my perch. And perch means a resting place. The place where I'm resting, the wave would take me from here, and then on to my village, and would throw me to my village, maybe the entire island. Or the wave was so fast that it could take the entire island with it. What was happening to the earth? Then I was snatched from above. Now the narrator was thinking that what is this happening with our earth? And then suddenly I was snatched, means someone snatched him from above. The Shompan boy had me by the shoulders, dragging me onto the neem tree. Now the Shompan boy, he snatched the boy, the narrator, uh, by the shoulders and dragged him onto the neem tree. The Shompan boy squatted beside me. Squatted means to sit or to bend. And now the narrator just told that the Shompan boy, he just sat beside me, apparently calm. He was very much calm. His eyes were wide, but his body was relaxed and casual. His eyes were wide to seeing those waves, those large waves, but his body was relaxed and casual. He knew that there was nothing more to do. Whatever happened was beyond our control. Now, the narrator told us that the Shompan boy, he knew that there was nothing more they could do, and whatever happened was beyond their control. It was not in their hands. What happened was that we survived. Now, the narrator was thinking that whatever happened, but still they survived. The wave flowed inland for what seemed like an eternity. Eternity means infinite time, that is eternal. The wave flowed inland, and it seemed like that it was infinite time, but it never managed to uproot our ancient tree. And the narrator told that, but somehow their ancient tree, it was not uprooted. It was still there. The hill became a little island, and the Shompan boy and I were the only two inhabitants. Now, earlier, because they reached at the highest point of the hill, they reached at the summit, but that hill that became a little island because the water was there, and the Shompan boy and I were only the two inhabitants. There were only two inhabitants there. Inhabitants means the person who lived there. So there were only two people there who survived, that the narrator and the Shompan boy. The Shompan boy and the island boy spent hours on the tree. Now both the boys, the narrator and the Shompan boy, they spent hours on the tree. The Shompan boy showed the island boy his precious fire stones as they waited for help to arrive. And during that time, the Shompan boy, he showed the island boy his precious fire stones until they waited for help to arrive. Fire stones, these are the stones that are used to rub together to spark a fire, and these are the stones which can withstand fire. So now we know that why the story named Fire Stones. Let's read it further. Rescue boats came looking for survivors a long time later, and after that, after some time, rescue boats means the boats that came to save the people who were the survivors, who of that tsunami. Hey, you two, said a voice below us. I looked down. There were two men in a canoe paddling against the current. I recognized one, a Nicobarese from the nearby village. Now, a voice came from below them. Hey, you two. I looked down, and there were two men in a canoe. Canoe, it's a small, light, narrow boat that is pointed at both ends. Then that boats came to help the survivors, and that was paddling against the current of the waves, current of the water. And I recognized one, and there was a Nicobarese from the nearby village. Narrator recognized a person from the boat, in the boat. Climb down, this tree isn't going to last long. And the person in the boat, he just said that, climb down, this tree won't last long, so you just have to come here. The Champagne boy considered the offer and leaped from the tree. Leaped means to pass from one state to another. Means he just threw himself from tree to the boat and landing nearly in the canoe. And he actually exactly landed in the canoe into that small boat. It took me a while longer, feeling my way down the trunk. And narrator told us that it took a while for him to reach to the exact point into the boat. The man's hands grabbed me, and the man in the boat, who was in the boat, he just grabbed the narrator under the armpits when I came within arm reach. Within arm reach means very close, and armpits means it's a hollow beneath the joint of the arm and shoulder. That is called armpits. And that person, he just grabbed the narrator from under the armpits when he came very close to him. The canoe came within 10 meters of the shore, and suddenly the Champagne boy was on his feet. And after traveling to the shore, within 10 meters, and suddenly the Champagne boy, he was on his feet. Then he jumped onto the rim of the canoe. Rim means edge. Then stepped off into the water and then onto the shore. Then they were somewhat near the shore, and that Champagne boy, he just jumped onto the rim of the canoe. The rim means edge. Then stepped off into the water and then onto the shore. Then he turned to look back at me. And then the Champagne boy, he just turned back to look at the boy, to look at the narrator. It was the last time I would see him. And now the narrator told us that it was the last time that he would see that Champagne boy. His last act before disappearing into the jungle was to pat his thigh right where a pocket would be. Now, what the Champagne boy did when he reached the shore, and that was his last act before disappearing into the jungle, he just what? He pat his thigh. He just put a hand on his thigh right where a pocket would be. At the same place where a pocket means a pocket can be there. So he just pat there. I automatically patted my own thigh. And seeing him, the narrator automatically patted his own thigh, and it was heavy with my money pouch. And now the narrator is telling that it was again heavy with his money pouch. The Champagne boy had somehow put it back without my feeling a thing. And Champagne boy was patting his thigh to tell the narrator to pat his own thigh so that he can know that he has kept his money pouch back. And narrator could not even feel it that he has got the money pouch back. I pulled it out, and of course all the money was there. And the narrator checked it, and he saw that all the money was there, and there was something else in it, two black stones. And now when the narrator saw, there were two black stones also. The Champagne boy had made me a gift of his precious firestones. And the Champagne boy, he gifted the narrator his precious firestones. Then I understood the theft had been a ruse to make me follow him into the jungle. He had risked his own life and saved mine. and all I had done in return was to mistrust him. Ruse means trick. At that time, when he saw the precious firestones as a gift given by the Champagne boy, the narrator understood that this theft was basically a trick so that the narrator would follow the Champagne boy into the jungle, and he just saved his life, and he risked his own life to save the life of the narrator. And narrator was thinking that all what he did in return, he just mistrusted the Champagne boy. So this was the story about two boys, the narrator and the Champagne boy, that how they survived the tsunami. They saw the waves coming, and how the Champagne boy helped the narrator to save his life, and save the life of the narrator and his own life. So if you have any doubt, you can ask, you can write in the comment section. I'll be sharing the word meanings and question answers of the chapter in the description links. You can see it from there. For more videos, you can subscribe to my channel and see that. If you like this, please like my video and share with your friends so that everyone can use it. Thank you so much.